when Seiko started their now traditional strategy of recreating divers from their historical catalogs as limited edition watches and making a modern reinterpretation as regular production models some years ago, it got me very excited. With each new release, I was blown away, but there was always something missing to make me completely fall in love and get one. The closest I got to getting one was the SPB207 that I actually featured on my channel. It was very close, but at 44mm in diameter, it was pretty much the same size as the regular Marinemaster 300 that I always loved the look of, but found too big for my small 6.5-inch wrist, and had other pet peeves about it, stopping me from getting one. Yes, it is one of the best looking Seiko divers, but things that bugged me were the thickness of the monocoque case, the proportions between the case bezel and dial, where the first two were massive and the dial was quite small, and finally the hands that are a work of art, but simply too short for my taste. Then this came out, the limited edition 140th anniversary interpretation of the original 1968 300-meter model. It quickly stole the name Marinemaster 200 from the SPB207 and got on my purchasing list. Why? Because it fixed everything I disliked about the Marinemaster 300. It was as if Seiko asked me what exactly I would change and simply did it. It shaved off a couple of millimeters in both diameter and thickness, making it fit my wrist perfectly and sit nice and low. Because the dial is almost the same size as the MM300, it means the proportions were affected as well. The relations between case, bezel, and dial are just better. And as an icing on the cake, they made the hands longer, with the minutes and seconds hand reaching their markers. The hands of the 300 are still better designed, with 3 distinct surfaces, polished sides, and a brushed top. But these are a work of art in their own way. They're not only split down the middle, but also feature 2 different finishes, something that is not apparent on stock photos. One half is mirror polished, while the other one has a brushed finish. That not only looks cool, but also means that there is never a situation where both halves disappear. They each reflect different type of light, meaning one is always visible, making it one of the most legible watches I ever owned. This duality is continued on the dial, that is inspired by forests of the Iriomote Island. On photos, it looks very vibrant with a very sharp sunburst effect, but in person, it acts as 2 completely different dials in one. Under soft ambient light and when it's cloudy outside, it is a deep, dark, and rich green that has a satin, almost matte-looking finish. Get it into more direct lighting or sunshine, and all of the sudden it comes alive, showing the sunburst effect and revealing it is much more complex than it first seems. The black bezel balances the dial perfectly, and I'm glad they didn't go with a green one, as that would have been too much. To top everything off, they threw in a gold seconds hand with the historical bicolor end and gold writing for the Divers 200 that almost blends with the dial. The regular production models done in blue and black are gorgeous watches, but this green one with gold details just elevates the watch to a whole new level. And then the case. Based on the historical 6159 and modern Marinemaster 300, it is a work of art. It is truly grand Seiko grammar of design applied to a diver. With so many facets, surfaces, and curves with alternating finishes, it truly has to be experienced in person to really appreciate it. Videos can try to capture the beauty and complexity of it all, but only to a certain degree. It is when you handle it in person and see how it plays with the light as you move it around in your hands that you really understand just how good Seiko can be when they want. This thing makes my Rolex Submariner case look dull, boring, and makes people making it seem lazy. I can say without a shadow of a doubt that this is one of the best looking Seiko divers I ever handled. I will go so far as to say it is one of the best looking divers regardless of brand. That is how much I like the look of it. Does it have drawbacks? Of course it does. It's a Seiko after all. The first issue is the movement. The 6R35, on paper at least, is a step up from the old 6R15, getting some fancier materials inside, resulting in a longer power reserve of 70 plus hours. Unfortunately, like so many entry-level Seiko movements, the accuracy out of the box was pretty horrible at minus 25 seconds a day, which even by my standards is unacceptable on a watch that retailed for $1,500. I did buy it used, but by the condition I would say it spent most of its life sitting in a box, so I doubt it was any better accuracy-wise when it was first purchased. Lucky for me, I have a great relationship with my local watchmaker, so a quick visit to his shop fixed the issue. He regulated it within 5 minutes, free of charge, and now it has been consistent and plus 2 seconds a day. What stayed is the positional variance. The watch will gain about 5 seconds over the day when worn, and then lose 3 seconds overnight with the crown facing up. If I leave it sitting dial-up, it will add a couple more seconds to the original 5. At this price range, Seiko really should up their game movement-wise and offer better regulation, as not everyone has a watchmaker at their disposal to do a free regulation for them. And finally, the bracelet. Being a limited edition of 6,000 pieces, it comes with both a green rubber strap that is excellent and not overly long like so many Seiko dive straps are, and a stainless steel bracelet, which is my preferred choice. The bracelet is excellent, goes perfectly with the case design, and has almost all the hallmarks of a modern high-quality bracelet. Solid end links, solid links, and a machined clasp. What is missing is on-the-fly adjustment, like the one found on the Marinemaster 300, and the fact they still use the basic flip-out diver's extension like the one I used to have on a $200 monster. It doesn't bother me that much, but I know some people will expect more for the price. Another issue is that there is some play where the end links meet the case. It is too small to bother me, but again, for the price, you would expect it to sit perfectly tight. I mean, my Z-Loss is 1/3 the price of this, and it has both these issues solved perfectly. If I paid the full price for this, I might find the issues I mentioned disappointing. But I bought it used and was the single bidder on an auction, paying 1/3 the original price. And at that price, even if it didn't have a bracelet at all, I would be okay, as the quality of finish on everything else on the watch still makes it a bargain, while the sheer beauty of the thing and on-wrist comfort guarantees it's gonna stay in my collection. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed and found it useful. If you did, please like and subscribe, and until the next video, bye.